Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dapper D's. I'm Dono.
Hello. I'm Dippy.
I'm
God
Dadley.
bless it.
God bless America.
And we're the Dapper D's, the only show where the D stands for didgeridoo.
Can you didgeridoo?
Didgeridoo. Well, didgeridoo, damn it. Oh my gosh, guys.
Hi.
How's everything been with you guys?
Oh, it's fucking chaos, but I love. Oh,
Same.
I'm underdressed. You guys are both wearing. Give me.
No,
Oh,
I will
God.
change. I'll go change.
No. Only one of us is going to change. Well, while Dono is getting his Sunday best on, that's a little harsh. While Dono is getting,
Not even Sunday.
well, yesterday was Sunday. We don't have any partners right now, do we?
No, we have no plans. I mean, I have partners.
I mean, you do.
Hey,
like-
if you're curious, in a little disposable camera, but it's not disposable because an SD card just gives you the vibe of that. Papercameras.co, promo code DadleyJ. I don't have my camera on me, or else I would have.
Oh, look at you!
I like
all
it.
Spiffy.
It is so
I like
fall.
that. It's also you're muted.
It's very dark. It's very dark compared to my.
That's
It
true.
looks
There we
good,
go.
though.
I
there
have
you
my
go.
light.
Oh,
I like
that
the
looks
shadow
better.
there.
Whew.
I feel like you can do some awesome shadow puppets.
Oh my gosh, just the friggin'
Can we do a whole episode of shadow puppets?
shadow puppet episode. There's no way. Like the D's learn shadow puppetry.
I will pay a professional to come on here and teach us.
Professional shadow puppeteer. That's fucking
God.
incredible.
Oh.
Well, fellas, this setup is familiar, isn't it? I mean, it's obvious what we're doing. We're doing the podcast episode, the Dapper D's After Dark, which is none of the episodes have ever been named the Dapper D's After Dark, but that's what it's kind of unofficially called.
Yeah.
Where we're just talking about some dumb stuff today, some cool stuff, some fun stuff, and we actually have a topics list this time that I am going to reference.
Dudley just made a face of that he just discovered something horrific.
boy.
What's up?
There's an art studio 20 minutes from my house that does shadow puppet classes.
Oh my god.
Honestly, if you just set up like, okay, so my kids love shadow puppets, and we've had nights where we've literally just like done those things. You start figuring it out pretty quickly of like how to do things, like, like I've made like a man with a backpack walking about and stuff, real fucking easy.
I got a bunny, and that's about it.
It's like,
See,
man,
man
I
with a
got a
backpack,
bird.
man with a backpack, man with a backpack is this or something like that. It's like,
so when I was younger, this actually brought up a weird childhood memory of mine. My mother printed off like onto just like printer paper, like 5 pages of just basic shadow puppets. And it went from like simplest to most advanced. And there was always this, like, I was able to do them pretty good when I had the sheet in front of me, but then I was always so hopeless when it just came to like I think the only advanced one that I can feasibly remember was like, I think it was a crocodile or something, something like that. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those fun things that like I remembered, and then I also just now remembered that I threw that away when I was doing one of my deep cleans of my room one time.
No.
Oh god.
I feel like, actually, all right, I know this was not on the topic list, but last thing about shadow puppets, Dippy, as a film major, I feel like shadow puppets would actually be like interesting to learn, because like at a young age, that's teaching you about like lighting and dynamic, and like I feel like that's actually
funnily enough, it was.
Yeah.
I worked on lighting on a semi-professional like thing on YouTube, and they like, it was a fun thing because lighting is one of the things you learn about in I almost said film school. It was a public university with film classes.
Yeah.
But lighting is one of those things that seems so unimportant, and yet it ends up being one of the most important things.
Yes, it is weird going down, like, actually, as somebody who's like didn't undergo. I just recently started learning more about film and whatnot, and
Right.
it's wild how important lighting is. I mean, look
It
at
is,
mine right
yeah.
now; it's terrible.
Like even now, like I can tell you that I have a 2-point lighting set up intentionally in front of my like screen so that I can diffuse my face. Like Dono has a single harsh white LED light source, and he's casting shadows on the side of his face because that's the side of his face that the light is opposite of. Oh, uh-oh. And like Dadley, your light source is directly above you, so it's just casting like this. There was a specific name for it, but it's casting this style of shadow that's used normally.
It's used with like in normal ones or like a investigation style type
I
thing.
feel like I could
I've
do,
learned
like,
about I've learned about lighting. I've done directing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is perfect lighting for like the Kubrick stare that like people.
The
have been talking
Kubrick
about.
stare has always been like one of those things that's just like it's
If
one of
I-
those things that you
if
hear
I-
about it and it's
oh,
hard
sorry.
to perfect.
If I were to put like, or like have like a white area right here, it would help to like illuminate me a little bit better, which I do. I have a white bottom desk right here, which helps to kind of bounce light and push it up, which gives it more of like, and it has a slight gray undertone. But yeah, sorry.
I only started chuckling because we've talked about Weird Al a lot, and all I could hear is in my head Weird Al being like, "What bottom desk makes the rocket world go?"
Oh no.
No.
Wow.
Sorry.
Speaking of childhood, like I was saying earlier, we actually have a topic list that we can reference today. And one thing on here besides shadow puppets, I'm going to add topics as they naturally come up too. Childhood obsessions. We all have these memes and these things that we see that shut up. We all have these things and these memes that we see of like a boy will turn 3 and choose one of these things to be his personality for the rest of his life. And it's like dinosaurs, firefighters, like trains, or like, that kind of thing. What was yours? You guys's?
Storytelling.
Oh.
Straight up, me and my friends used to, like, even when I was like in elementary school, we would do like, we'd create games, create stories, create these different things to be able to like act out and just do. And I remember like it's just like, it's basically pretend, but not like it was, we had a set different type of world. We would create creatures and monsters and just play around and do them and stuff.
You were
and
playing D&D before you knew what
yeah,
D&D
I know.
was.
I'm like, this probably helped me to be like, and that's why I love playing D&D and being a DM, because it puts me back into that childhood mindset. But I get to be a lot more like just horrific with it, because you can
pretend.
Yes, adult pretend sometimes means they cry, and it's a good thing.
They cry, but somehow everyone at the table likes it?
Yeah, like I've had so many people be like, "Thank you, that was amazing." I'm like, and they're just fucking crying at me. I'm like, God, fuck, man.
Pretend was always one of those things as a child that I loved doing, but I barely ever got to do it because I was an only child who lived in the middle of nowhere. Our only neighbor was a cattle rancher who did not have kids.
You didn't ever like pick up a stick and just like pretend that you were a master swordsman or King Arthur? Or...
I mean, yeah, but like all that kind of stuff just like...
Or, you just see like a really nice tree and you just start being like monk person, like training.
Kind of. But like when I was younger, all of the trees in my yard were too tall to feasibly like climb. I remember like we had this family friend of ours who had this, like, I don't know what brand of tree, what species of tree it was, that has all these branches that stem out. Like as soon as the trunk pops out of the ground, there are branches that like come up.
Yeah.
We would climb in that tree, make houses like out of the sticks and stuff in the tree, and they would be strong enough to support us because of the way the branches were made.
Yeah.
That was one of the best times of my childhood. I remember that day very fondly.
I was a big tree climber. I still am. I'll be real. If I see a good tree, I still fucking climb trees. It's fun. I don't care. I also still rock climb though, so I guess it kind of like
Yeah, you have that advantage about you.
my childhood obsession was twofold. I was first and foremost I grew up in a family that loved UFC. I had an uncle who fought professionally in Bellator and whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah, William Kerr. If you Google him, one of the first things that's gonna pop up is him actually jumping off the second floor of my local mall. But he had some like actual like no bullshit belt like fights under his belt. It was really cool. But I grew up loving the UFC, so that was just like what I latched onto. And then Sonic the Hedgehog. I was such a Sonic.
I love
kid.
Sonic the Hedgehog, man. That's my shit, and I love that my son loves Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the best fucking thing ever when your kids start liking like what you like. Like they're starting to like Pokemon. They're like Pikachu. I'm like yes.
Yes.
But Sonic Adventure 2 Battle had the Chow Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I was on that
my
shit
fucking
every
yes.
day, raising and training my Chow.
You were a parent before you were a parent.
Yup. What about you, Dippy?
My childhood obsession was always, for lack of a better way to put this, this is one that I have held on to this day. Like this is one of my favorite things in general is transportation.
Mm-hmm.
See, like things that move, things that are like designed to move people. So cars, trains, and planes are among the top three. But more,
You said planes, trains, cars, and I said, oh my.
Oh
my. Like,
That's gonna be the next Dapper D. Sure.
Oh God, planes and trains and cars. Oh my.
Oh my.
But to a even greater extent, as I would buy the merch in the store. To an even greater extent, when I was getting older, that evolved into weapons of like weaponry and like war machines and vehicles and machinery in general, like giant construction equipment. And like it's just been this thing that I've always loved, things moving and how people could make these things that move in these ways. Like planes are just so fucking fascinating to me.
Planes still confuse me to this.
Like
they're
a giant metal.
Don't they ride on jet streams? Like that's a thing. Like they accelerate out and then they skip. It's like skipping on a rock. It's just or skipping on water.
If you have an unpowered plane, some of them do that.
Yeah,
but the fact that you can put giant metal sheets on a giant metal tube and put giant metal like flamethrowers underneath those giant metal sheets to make those giant metal tubes go across the ocean, like that's fun to me. And then you get back into like pre-jet age of World War II and I, where like the time between the first like propeller powered aircraft and the first jet powered aircraft was 42 years.
Oh wow.
Like that's nuts. Because the Kitty Hawk tests in North Carolina were held in 1903.
That's half a person's lifetime.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
people were
Could you imagine doing that? Like fucking basically just being like my life work will be this and then getting fucked by two brothers who did it better. It's like, like I spent years, like no wonder freaking boomers are so goddamn mad. They're like, why are these kids discovering things in days when it took us years? Sorry.
The Wright brothers lived long enough to watch men land on the moon. Like
what?
Yeah, that's something that you don't think about until you like really step back and look at it.
Man, their egos must have been like fucking moon high right there.
Yeah, we did that.
I have to Google something. I can't remember somebody's name, and I'm not going to say it until I know the name.
Okay.
But
yeah, did you know that William Shakespeare was married to Anne Hathaway?
No, stop it.
No. That's a 400-year difference, not a 40-year difference.
No, look it up.
Look it up. It's true, I swear.
Yeah. His wife was Anne Hathaway.
Rosa Parks lived long enough to watch the first Shrek movie.
Fucking what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Random question, but why does Bradley look like he's in Murder's Basement? Blink twice if you need help.
Oh God, and he doesn't blink at all. Just the
They don't know. Stop it.
it's like,
Put
but the
the lotion back on.
When I was a child, the main point was trains. Like I
Trains
had
are
a
the shit.
and
They
that
are.
kind of stemmed from my mother buying me almost every VHS she could of Thomas the Tank Engine when I was younger, which has garnered itself into me being an adult fan of Thomas. Like honestly, trains are the shit, man. You
They
take that
are.
giant metal tube that had giant metal sheets on it, but instead of putting those sheets on it, you put two giant metal strings underneath 10 massive steel wheels. And somehow boiling water makes those wheels go more than 100 miles an hour. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. And
It is.
trains falling out of style in the modern era is making me sad inside. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still lots of great train stuff out there, but
nice to see you, Primal Goddess. You're not
nice
too
to
late.
see you,
Welcome.
Primal Goddess.
Random question, but why does Bradley look at? Oh, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
I had a nice lighting setup, and they went kaput. So the only light I have is right above my head. Unfortunately,
And he hasn't had the time or willpower to refix it.
Facts.
Fuck, what's our next question? Because I think that's all of it, right? Or that's the first
So
one.
going along with
unless
your
you wanna-
obsessions as a kid, what were like the weird fears you had as a kid?
Oh.
I mean, like all the stand-up comedians and whatnot, they say like, "Oh, quicksand," but no.
Yeah.
I was always like more. I was always more into the fear of I was always more afraid of.
That sounds like a dope D&D campaign, like
tripwires.
Into the fear.
Yeah.
Into the fear. Like booby traps and tripwires being everywhere. Like oh, if
Did you watch a lot of World War II with the freaking like trip grenades?
Oh God, the bouncing Bettys! Don't give me like those are horrific to think about. That those existed 80 years ago, and we still haven't had like major problems with those today. Like,
and they still like there's still some out there, like mines are.
Yeah,
that
like,
one's a weird one.
That fucks with me sometimes.
The fact that like any field. Do you guys know about the accidental nuclear bomb in North Carolina? Right?
No.
So there was a plane, I think it was a B-52, was flying out of an airbase in North Carolina to go overseas to land at another airbase for operational status. And it was carrying 2 nuclear warheads.
Primal Goddess, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt what Dippy was saying, but like,
are you okay?
Me instantly remembering my dad had a thing for wanting to shove me into an air vent, saying my twin sister was up there.
What the hell?
You good, honey? Like,
what? You okay?
Huh?
Sorry. Damn. That just like sideswiped me.
That instantly, yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
When you're concerned, please respond.
Blink twice.
Blink twice in the chat. But yeah, this B-52 is carrying 2 nuclear warheads, and then one of the dum-dums in the in the bombardier's bay like pushed his knee against a switch and then dropped these 2 nuclear warheads over North Carolina. Well, there was one safety switch in a control center at the airbase in North Carolina that if it had been switched on, we would have accidentally nuked North Carolina. There are the bombshell, I think, is still there. I don't know if they recovered it. They might have.
Uranium fever.
But like,
you're gonna nuke where the gators are? Damn.
I just like that feels like such a thing of like, oh, that could go off at any time. Like, surely. Like, and North Carolina is not too far away that if it was, if it was a big nuclear warhead, like it would reach
Dippy, you just made me think of something, and you'll like this. My grandfather on my mother's side. So my mom, she had about 3 to 4 years of her life that she was growing up in Hawaii, and the reason for that was because my grandfather, was the guy that flew the big bomber over Russia during the Cold War that had nuclear warheads in it.
Wow.
Oh my God! Wait, what?
Yeah, he was waiting. His whole thing was like every other day or whatever, he would be the guy that go over to Russia, have a big ass nuke in his plane, and just wait for the president to say, "Go right ahead."
Just the fucking strategic air command, just like
that was his job. When he was done and retired, he had enough money that he found his past wife's dream home. There were people living in it. And he sat down, or he knocked on the door, sat down in their house. It was just like, all right. No, he said, how much do you want for it? And bought the house. It wasn't on the market.
Good for them. That's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But imagine being that family, right? Like you're just sitting at home, and then you hear, and then you go to your door. And then you just go to the front door, and you see this like grizzled pilot looking dude, and he just walks in, and he just sits down, and you're like, what's going on? And he's like, I want to buy your house. And I'm like, fat chance. And then he says, I'll give you $3 million for it. And he's like, okay. And it's just like, I guess we have to find a new house now.
Granted, this was like the 70s and 80s, so
that's also very fair.
Yeah.
Like
my childhood fear, I had one rational one and one that to this day I don't understand why I was afraid of it.
Sure.
So I grew up and I still live near a nuclear power plant. I would spend every other day being like, is that thing gonna blow up yet? Like, I was terrified of this nuclear power plant. I now work there, but I was terrified of the nuclear power plant. The one that I to this day I don't know why I was so scared of it was I was afraid the Bermuda Triangle was going to move over my house. I was afraid that the Bermuda Triangle would end up encapsulating my house. And in my child brain, I would then have to live with all these people that got lost in planes because they are stuck in the Bermuda Triangle.
And now we're right back to planes. All right. Well, mine doesn't seem so weird anymore.
That sounds like an SCP. That just sounds like. Good evening. Good evening. I'm Ted Tedson on your local news at 9. Today's top story: the Bermuda Triangle has moved. It is now called the Schenectady Triangle, and
is now directly onto Bradley's house,
upstate New York and Connecticut. More at 11.
All right, so mine was.
Oh my God, I'm gonna jot that down as an actual note of a short film or something.
Somebody literally just put in chat, that should be a book.
Yeah,
a book. I think either a book or something.
All right,
like that.
what you got for us, Donald?
All right. So mine doesn't sound as cool as any of yours. Mine was when I was a little kid, I was really afraid of snakes being in the toilet. I just remember watching a Believe It or Not thing, or a
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, it was it was just a moment of believe this story is unbelievable or something like that. Those old TV shows from the 90s. About this woman that went to go sit on the toilet and then got bit by a fucking python because it was in the sewer system. And for years, I was just I don't want to get I don't want to get bit in the ass by a fucking python. And it was
that's fair though.
Yeah, I was terrified. That and the evil murderous leprechaun from the movie Leprechaun.
Yo, fuck that. Yeah,
I literally
was terrified of that.
The note in my phone: the Bermuda migration, the Bermuda Triangle moved, but where? That's a perfect one note movie pitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my screenwriting professor taught me. You have to be able to summarize the movie in one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually. You wouldn't mind if I stole that, would you?
No, by all means.
I might write a whole fucking screenplay about that.
Hi, Dippy. hi, Debbie, you made this movie off of a friend's fear? My God, man.
Off of a podcast?
It's like, how do you feel about making the Emmy? Like,
I will just to stick to the bit. I will go see it opening night premiere and just scream bloody murder the entire time.
No!
Like, don't go in there.
Or it's just a constantly moving entity of just like it's just like going at constant speed, and wherever it moves, planes fall out of the sky. I'm not gonna say any more because these are good plot points.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody steal this shit.
Copyright. All right. So, yeah. Great childhood fears, childhood beliefs shattered. Was that going into that, or was that?
That was. Why'd you rate Ted Lasso?
Because I watched it recently. So I did. So
I haven't
just to very shortly get into this. I have a VR headset. I have a Valve Index. I bought it at the beginning of 2021, and I love it. It is a very fun device. Yeah. It has brought me many hours of enjoyment, and the one thing that I would love to mention about it is that there's VR chat is a thing. It's a game you may or may not have heard of. You can access it on desktop too. There are some worlds which I will not specifically get into their names or their locations, but in them, you can watch unlocked, unprivated, unregion-locked movies and TV shows.
Oh, okay.
So it condenses a bunch of like Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, like all these other shows that you would have to pay for a streaming service to get. Mm-hmm. You can get them with $1,000 on a VR headset and VR chat.
Because that was the first thing I was going to ask is, did you get Apple TV just to watch Ted Lasso?
I did not. So please don't sue us. But I was able to watch Ted Lasso.
The correct answer in that situation was maybe.
Maybe, yes. Perhaps.
You'll never know.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Yes.
You can't sue me for it. But anyway.
Dudley, do you have a surfboard on your couch?
I believe he does.
No, I have a painting of a Keyblade from Kingdom
Oh my
Hearts.
God.
Oh, cool.
It's just the way that it cut. Oh, that is dope.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it cut off. It looked like it was a freaking surfboard. Sorry. ADHD moment.
Yeah. But yeah, Ted Lasso, for those of you who are unfamiliar, what's going on?
Name?
Oh God.
I'm sorry, what did I just miss?
Jono just noticed your name. Primal
you can see it on stream too.
Look at the name in Zoom. Don't look at the name.
You can see it on stream.
You can see it on stream.
I'm so jealous that what's amazing. I have that one's the one-winged angel, and I also have Oblivion.
Oh, cool. Dude.
They're painted by a friend of mine. I need to hang them up somewhere.
I've only played the Game Boy Advance Kingdom Hearts game.
I have never.
You're missing out, buddy.
I know.
Kingdom Hearts is my favorite
I didn't
game of all
listen.
time.
I didn't have a PlayStation.
I can't hear you.
I didn't have a PlayStation when I was younger. I only had Nintendo, and then my brothers were like, "Oh, we're gonna get an Xbox because we want to play Halo." So, like, I played Halo a lot when I was younger, but I never had a PlayStation, so I never played the Kingdom Hearts ones.
I had a friend who played Kingdom Hearts, like religiously. And I went over to his house one time and watched him play Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, this seems like something that I may have enjoyed if I had played it, but I've never played it. I know that the story is so convoluted, and it's so like...
So, it's become a meme that the story is convoluted. It's not. It's really not that bad.
And I know that like the big main thing about Kingdom Hearts is that like because of the Disney license, there's always like however so many major Disney movie tie-ins.
Yeah. You go to different worlds of different Disney movies.
Yeah, because it's owned by Disney, right?
Well, it's mostly owned by Square Enix, just Disney licensed out to them.
Yeah. The only thing that they said was that they can't be any killing, and that's why he has a blunt weapon as his sword.
Yeah, that's why he has a key. The original concept had him holding a straight up chainsaw, and Disney was like, "No, you can't do that."
Chainsaw?
Yeah.
Imagine Sora with a chainsaw. That would be.
Can we listen? Can we get a game like that where the chainsaw changes depending upon the worlds and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, it's called Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no shit.
That's pretty much what Lollipop Chainsaw is. Like, well, it's not so much that the chainsaw changes, but the Lollipop Chainsaw was a weird ass fucking game.
I didn't get to play a lot of cool games when I was younger.
I
played Sonic a lot though. Like I had a lot of Nintendo. Yeah, I had a GameCube that I bought myself.
Hell yeah.
That I played. Oh, sorry.
No, it didn't go through. Give me 1 second.
You're good.
You guys keep going.
Well, speaking of games, no, go on.
Go. Dippy. Speaking of games,
just gonna circle back to what we were doing before we noticed Dadley's name, which has changed again. That I watched through all of Ted Lasso, and for those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically American football coaches British football, or soccer, and it's a really good show. It's such a good show. Like, it's a fun show, and it all revolves around this guy. You know, it all revolves around the titular character Ted Lasso, and Ted is one of the nicest, one of the best protagonists I think I've ever seen in
That's what I keep hearing about the show.
In like modern media. He's such a good, nice, fun protagonist in a world of like all of these protagonists are just like, oh, I have fucked up family issues and I've got to get revenge, or I've got to get like, or I've got to be the prettiest girl at the party.
I'm gonna be the
angstiest emo in the fucking group. All right.
In a world of like just angst and like fear and tragedy, Ted Lasso is just the embodiment.
Sounded exactly like Olaf right there.
And sun and all things hot.
Only it was everything bad coming out of your mouth.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
I'm not that big of like a Disneyland fan. I just don't have much interest in going to Disneyland.
Dope
or Disney
artwork.
World.
Why does he have a tail?
So I sent the original artwork to Sora to the group chat, and he has like pointed ears. He has like a monkey-ish tail. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
I just saw a video of like a parade in Disneyland, and Kristoff was walking down the street, and he saw a puddle, and he just goes, "Olaf, no!" And then turns and sees Olaf in the parade. And he goes, "Oh, never mind." And he keeps.
See, that's the thing, and we can talk about this very, very fast because I just wanted to mention that Ted Lasso is such a good show. If you have a computer and you have access to a little game called VR Chat.
We're not recommending it.
Look very surface level,
but you may be able to.
You may or may not perhaps find a world where you can watch a bunch of shows like Ted Lasso and all that good stuff.
Yeah, may or may not.
Or at the very least, knockoff versions.
It could be. It could not. Maybe.
But it's a very good show. I recommend it very much. But Disney is an interesting thing because, like, Apple's a competitor. Let me make the segue to this. Ted Lasso is a show on Apple TV. Apple TV is a direct competitor to Disney plus Disney. All right. I've never been to Disney World. I've mentioned this before. I've never been to any of the Disney parks. And I talked with a friend of ours recently, a friend of ours from the show that you saw yesterday, Stealthy, about going to Disney as a child versus going as an adult. Did you guys ever go as children? Or have you guys ever gone to a Disney park?
Yes.
I went when I was too young to remember it now as an adult, and that was the only time I ever went.
Right. I went a few times as a child. One time we got in, and so I think I've talked about my brother's like best friend, how he was handicapped, and how like when he was a kid he had like a skin eating disease, and then he came with us, and we got like first in line for everything. Nice. And he was 100% down for it. It was dope as hell. But I remember doing that kind of thing. One of my favorite things to do was go into like the jungle area and shoot people with like the foam balls.
Oh my god.
Okay.
in the machines and just like it was just like a little kid area. And then I remembered the year that I was too big to be in it, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh no.
But yeah, I as a child was excruciatingly afraid of roller coasters.
Oh really?
Yes, I hated them. I didn't
So-
like the idea of going up and down, going fast, or I was a very cautious child as a kid.
I got lucky. So I was a Boy Scout for many years.
Hmm.
And
I was
the Boy Scout trip that I would always look forward to the most is the Six Flags in Massachusetts has a campground on the property that we used to go camp out at once a year. We would
Huh.
spend we would get there Friday night, spend the night. Saturday the park would be open an hour early for just us
Hmm.
and stay open an hour later for everyone spending the night there.
Wait,
Mm.
so
And
the Six Flags in Massachusetts.
oh, sorry,
that's
not
the one
Massachusetts,
with
New Jersey.
yeah,
No,
the
it was
Six Flags in
Mass.
New Jersey.
Wait,
That's the Six Flags in New Jersey is the one with King Dakota.
all
King
right, so it
Dakota,
was
isn't
not
it?
that one. No,
No,
it was
sorry.
Massachusetts.
King Dakota's at Hershey Park. Anyway, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, but it was the Six Flags in Massachusetts. I just googled it. Yeah.
Fuck,
So
roller coasters were another thing that I loved about going to
Same.
the transportation
Mhm.
thing. We're tying in all kinds of our topics today. Yeah.
not to mention, and this is me, even at a young age, being like, I don't know, the slut people make fun of me for. That was also the only camping trip that was co-ed. There was Girl Scouts that also spent
Mm.
nights on that campground. So there was two reasons I looked forward to it every year.
Mm.
But yeah, it was awesome. I love roller coasters.
Mhm.
Like I still do to this day.
Yeah, I like them now, and I'll go on them.
Oh, do
But
you?
yeah,
It's been a
yeah.
very
It
long
was just me as
time.
it took a good friend of mine coming with me to a theme park when I was very young, and just being like, "Hey, let's go do things." I'm like, "No, I'm afraid." He's just like, "You bitch, you brought me here. Fucking let's do this." I'm like, "All right, fine." And I
I
was like,
love that.
"Okay, I'm okay now."
6'4", 315 pounds. I can't go on a lot of roller coasters nowadays, and the ones I
Yeah,
can go on are in very expensive parks.
Listen,
I feel
I
that.
have started losing weight, and part of my thing is to actually be able to go on a fucking roller coaster
See,
at the goddamn fair.
the upper
Because
limit of a lot of those coasters is like 350 pounds, but like even then, 6'4" will push me past a lot of height
Yeah.
limits too.
So I
I got big tits, and it
Totally
keeps me
lost
off the.
I mean, I do too, but like, oh god.
Take a breath.
But yeah,
Oh,
I've
then-
never.
I remember what I want to talk about really quick.
Yeah.
Six Flags recently upped their prices.
Really?
Really?
So the owner, like the CEO of Six Flags, went on record. This is me getting heated for a second. Get heated about things that don't matter. He said that he upped the prices because he got tired of Six Flags being a daycare for teenagers. He purposely upped the prices to make it harder for teenagers to get in.
Really?
You know what?
I'm
I have
dead
a
serious, yeah.
That
Dude,
seems kind of shit.
That reminds me of the
Yeah.
time that I performed at Hot Topic, and we got
What do you mean
kicked out.
performed at Hot Topic?
Like I had a band that performed at Hot Topic.
You had a band that performed at
Add
Hot
it to the
Topic?
list.
What?
I had a band that performed at Hot Topic, and it had been a while since Hot Topic had had a bands perform and stuff. But we did an
I've
acoustic
never heard of
session.
any Hot Topic having a band.
You didn't know
Right-
that Hot
right-
Topic used to
right
have
this-
sessions?
Write this shit down for the next time we do Two Truths and a Lie.
But I remember
And they
one
performed
of
at
the
Hot
things
Topic?
that we did to promote for it was that we went around the mall and just started singing, and then we started having security following us. And then after we were done with the show, they kicked us out. There's the mall is not a
yeah.
place to hang out.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many
I wanna go to a
teenagers
Hot
come here to
Topic
hang
session.
out?
You say that like that's a thing that exists.
It is. Look them up.
What?
Apparently, it used to be.
It used to be a big thing.
Oh my god.
I wasn't. Donald, were you a mall rat?
A
Were you
little
hanging
bit,
out
yeah.
at the mall?
Yeah.
Same.
I used to skip school to fucking go to the mall.
I never had a mall to.
Same.
I never had a mall to hang out at.
Well, you're in the middle of nowhere. That's
That is- yeah.
understandable.
I don't know if I mentioned this last episode or not. I literally found out recently through a newspaper article in my state newspaper, the Tennessean, that the most rural counties in my state, I lived in number 1 and went to school in number 3.
Oh wow.
Like, so I am about as much of a farm boy without any of the experience of farm as you could get. Like, literally lived in rural county number 1, went to school in rural county number 3. Like, I was like, oh God, what? My life was so disconnected from the outside world. Like, if I made it anywhere beyond like local level stuff, I would be that would be a success story for the ages. But I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know?
Bro.
Yeah. So y'all wanna some magic items thrown at you?
Yeah, let's do some recurring stuff.
Dippy,
Absolutely.
or Deadly and Dippy, here you go. This is
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Is
Oh
this
my
your
God.
band?
No, it's not. It's just an
Oh.
example. No, we didn't get
Okay.
recorded, not to do
Okay,
anything. We just
session, I
performed
see.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
Hot
I see what
Topic
it is.
literally has an entire YouTube of like bands performing. They've changed it out of the store now, but yeah, like back in the day, they used to literally have like bands be like, "Hey, can I perform it?" Another thing, and just fucking be able to perform.
All right.
Yeah.
Dono, are you ready for your magic item?
Yes.
A knife made out of soap.
Ooh. Interesting.
The clean cut.
Oh. What does the clean cut do?
The clean cut on a natural 20 severs something off the body and leaves no trace or the ability to reattach it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Like, it could only be reattached with like a wish spell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's really good right off the bat.
That's incredible.
I'm not doing any better than that. All right, Dippy.
I'm in my fucking element, guys.
A club made out of bananas.
A club made out of bananas.
Like a bushel of bananas or just a banana?
No, like a bunch of bananas.
Right. So I would imagine that to be a little bit more like a morning star.
Okay.
And it would almost be
Eat your fucking potassium,
see,
bitch.
I imagine see, when I think about a bunch of bananas, and when most people think about a bunch of bananas, you think about like slippery skins and like just you know, the cartoon sound effect, just slip and fall up in the air, like that kind of thing. Bananas are really like soft and like gross. I feel like I would almost implement something like, if depending on when you buy the weapon, you could buy it at 3 levels. It would either be ripe, it would either be pre-ripe, ripe, or rotten. And you would either get like pre-ripe, they're hard, they're green, kind of like plantains.
Yeah.
They do 1d8 damage.
Okay.
And depending on if you have the stems facing out or facing in, it would either be a club or a morning star.
I like that.
You do 1d8 damage into the pre-ripe stage. If you buy it in the ripe stage, you do 1d6 damage, but they also have to make a Constitution save to prevent, or no, a dexterity save to prevent from falling, falling prone. Yeah.
Okay.
And in the rotten stage, it does 1d4 damage. But if they fail a con save, you deal an extra 2d6 necrotic.
I love that. Yes.
Kind of a staged weapon.
Yeah.
And each stage I feel like would take about a week, and a week after the rotten stage, the weapon just disappears.
Okay.
Like,
but what if it did radiant damage? Because if you eat too many bananas, you die from the radiation.
Oh God.
That's not true.
Yeah, because the radiation.
Eat that many bananas.
42,000 bananas in 1 minute, you would die from the radiation caused by it. Ah, yes. The radiation would kill you. Or not the 42,000 bananas that you just ate.
All right, what are you using for a prompt? Because I'll give you one, Dadley.
Oh, I just write these down. I don't have anything to use for a prompt.
Then I'll think of one.
Okay.
Okay.
In the meantime,
a dagger made of pennies.
A dagger made of pennies.
Ooh.
Okay. I would definitely call it like the lucky penny or something like that. I would have it do like the same amount of damage a dagger does, 1d4. 3 times per day, you can choose to expend a charge. The charges allow you to add. Fuck, I don't know. Because I was trying to think of something with rust.
If you do it into like a coin flip, you could do it like where you have the chance of not like if you run a coin flip heads, you crit, tails.
That was my first thought, and I'm like, there are so many items that
there are
to do that.
Okay, but I do like where you're going with the rust, but like, oh, but they're made of copper.
Yes.
So it's like
you turn green.
Yeah.
So you can expend 1 charge a day to just cause any weapon that is within holding of the target to start to rust. And that weapon will go down in a die for damage.
It is a natural catalyst.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
Not a bad idea,
yeah, you can deteriorate your opponent's weapon.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Very
nice. Actually, wait a minute. If I go to the home brewery,
I have a tiny lightsaber.
If we go to the home brewery, we could actually set up.
Stop it! Stop! No!
It's just a tit. Okay, I'm just kind of.
Dude, we ought to try that. We could
go to a hot topic session. They were pretty fun back in the day. Rival Goddess.
Good.
All right. And for your Urban Dictionary definition of the day, I don't know if this is a banned word on Twitch. I don't think it is.
What is it? Check it. Double check that thing. Dadley, what if we did a hot topic session of the Dapper Ds?
That is not banned on Twitch.
It's not? Okay. No. For your Urban Dictionary definition of the day, the cuck chair. That single chair in a hotel room that's always somehow facing the bed. You know the one. Example sentence, me and my wife really liked his vibe, so we took him back to our hotel room and I sat in the cuck chair and watched. Oh, God.
All right. Donna, what do you mean doing a hot topic special with Dapper D's?
I mean, we all meet up in person. We go to a hot topic.
Hot topic?
Not like we would pre-check with the hot topic and be like, hey, can we record a podcast episode in your store?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Do a hot topic session of the...
I used to work at my local Hot Topic. I'm sure they would say yes.
You'd be surprised at the things that Hot Topic would say yes to. Honestly. It's very fun, but yeah. So, 100%.
All right.
And then we just like
rolling today.
Yeah.
Well, we had a little bit of a longer segment of questions Dippy wanted to go.
Yes. So I originally, as I may or may not have mentioned before on the show, I know that we have a master episode list that we've talked about. And one thing that I thought about was answering a very specific set of questions. One that is asked on the show Inside the Actors Studio by then host James Lipton. James Lipton has since... James Lipton passed away in 2018, but Inside the Actors Studio is still rolling to this day with a rotating list of hosts, and his original questions are still asked by every rotated host. So, in the spirit of just exploring the internet, I figured we could answer these questions, and we can all answer these in order. We could just, there are just 10 questions to go through, and I wanted us all to answer
real quick
each of these questions.
Real quick.
Yes.
Tit saber.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's continue.
Lit saber tits. So, question number 1. What is your favorite word? And we could do this in whatever order we like.
Dono, you look like you have an answer.
I don't.
You don't? I can talk at length about this. My favorite word is exilonation.
Exilonation?
Exilonation. The feeling as walking of a stranger.
Oh.
Yes, the feeling of walking as a stranger.
Is that out of the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows?
That I don't know. I found it when I was in high school. I had to do a creative writing prompt where every sentence of a paragraph started with the next letter of the alphabet. And when I got to X, I got stuck. So I just Googled fun words that begin with X, and I stumbled upon exilonation, and it's been my favorite word ever since.
Exilonation starts with an X. Oh,
yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've made. If anyone's followed my TikTok for a while now, I've made merch with this word and whatnot. It is something that like I hold very true to myself because I love I love the feeling as walking as a stranger. I love going into new situations very unsure about what's happening next and experiencing it through fresh eyes. And so, yeah, absolutely favorite word.
Yeah. For me, it is one of two words. One very short one and one very long one, or not very long one. I've always loved the word juxtaposition. And if you need a definition for that, juxtaposition is the pairing of two hypocritical or differing things directly next to each other or compared to each other in adjacency to each other. So like juxtaposition is it's been used as a friggin' trope in like newspaper writing or like as it can be like a literary device. Like you think about the classic example of jumbo shrimp, but I think juxtaposition as a word is just such a fun word to say. It's got a J, it's got an X. It's like just all kinds of fun letters used in a fun word for a fun definition.
Yeah.
And my short word answer is junk. There's just a load of junk around here. I like junk. Junk, just like, everyone has some amount of junk in their house. Some of them have it in the trunk.
I will say, talking about childhood and whatnot, if you were to ask me this question when I was 10 years old, I would have said thingy.
Thingy.
Because it's just a fun word to say.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
All right, Dono, you got a favorite word?
I don't know. I don't know very many like big word. I'm one of my thing. I know, but like, fun fact about me is that like one of the things that I always wanted to do was make sure that I could always like understand things in a simpler mind and term, because it made it so I could explain it to others in a simple way. Like if I could understand like what you're saying, like I don't know, like I may not know the words and what you're saying, but if I can try and break it down and bring it to a simpler set and you can be like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, then that means, oh, okay, so then this can be taught to like people that don't know all this shit. But exuberant amount, like exuberant.
Ooh, yeah.
Meaning like lots, or I don't know, it feels like the word that I go to when it's like over the top, or it's just like a massive doesn't really fit. It just feels like it adds a little bit more punch to the conversation. The other word that I really like is fuck.
Same.
Well, we're gonna get to that. We are actually going to get to that, so save that for in just a little bit.
Okay.
Question number 2, and you'll notice that 6 of these questions are that 8
like
of these questions
flips.
actually are flip sides to each other. Question number 2 is, what is your least favorite word?
I have strong opinions about this.
Okay.
Everyone goes off. Oh, the worst word is moist. No, it's not. You know what the worst word is?
What is it?
Clumpy. There is nothing good in this world that is clumpy.
Oh God.
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese is not good.
Oh, that's a
not
good point.
Cottage cheese with like pineapple.
You don't like cottage cheese?
With like chopped up pineapple in it and like peaches.
Who are you?
Or like a good ricotta? Like
dude,
a ricotta
have
cheese,
you not made
like
what was it? What are
like
they?
Blue cheese dressing, man. Come on.
I do like blue cheese. I love blue cheese.
Okay.
Blue cheese.
Okay, there's one thing in this world.
There's one thing in this world that's good when it's clumpy.
Clumpy thing. But clumpy is just.
Although you are right. Clumpy is definitely one of those words that is definitely got
my least favorite word is fucking, and I hate it. Lazy.
Okay.
I feel like if someone calls somebody else lazy, it means that they're not understanding the other person. And it's so infuriating to me to think, to like have somebody be like, you're just being lazy. I'm like, no, I'm taking a fucking break, you asshole. Like, you don't know what my life is or
Yeah.
whatever, or like that
Totally
person's
fair.
lazy. It's like, no, they're going through shit. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a lazy answer, or it's a lazy excuse you give for somebody else that
I like that.
you don't like what they're doing, and I think it's like, I think it's dumb.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That and idiot.
I like
I don't like-
approaching it. Yeah.
I'll
I like
use idiot a lot, but yeah, sorry.
I like approaching a word from the feeling it gives you rather than just what it's strictly just sounds like.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So in that air, I don't like the word splinter. It's just kind of like
Ooh.
every time I think of the word splinter, it's just automatically just instantaneous like pain and
Yeah,
just like
I can see that.
like every time I hear the word splinter, it instantly goes under my fingernails and
Ugh.
it just hurts to think about. And like
I'm gonna take a note of that, and the next monster that I make is gonna have a splintering tone to their voice.
No,
I
stop
am
it.
Dippy, I am with you because I feel the same way about the word puncture.
Oh.
Ooh.
See,
Yeah.
but puncture sounds nice though. Puncture is
I
like
don't know.
like puncture is just like a
Puncture is nice, especially if you're the one doing it.
Guys, my mom's calling. Give me 2 seconds.
Hey, Mom.
She actually is. Oh my god.
Hi, Mom.
And
I've had my mom call during the... Hey, I think we've all had our moms call during Dapper D's.
That's true.
100%.
Now I think now it yeah.
Because
And in
sorry.
terms of a word that I just don't like the sound of, I just don't really like the word itself.
Favorite word, hands
Just
down.
like,
Thank you.
Just like fungus.
Fungus?
I don't like fungus.
Fungus,
It's not fun.
but it's fungus.
But it's like
I would love a dude if his name was Fungus. Like, if you met somebody who was like, yeah, man, my name's Fungus, would you not be ultimately just like ready to just go and have a good time with that guy?
I mean, maybe for you or Dadley, but in terms of like, I don't want to like say that that's like being stereotypical against you two, but fungus to me is not a fun word. It has fun in the name, sure, but it's not a fun
Dadley,
word.
if you met a person who has the name Fungus, what would you think?
I want to sleep with them.
Wow.
Wow, a bit of the extreme right there, but yeah.
Forthright and forthcoming with it. Okay.
It's like, man, I fucked Fungus.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Would it be my first time? Like, I itched for like 3 weeks.
Transitioning smoothly into the next question, what turns you on? Fungus. No.
I don't know how to answer this.
So I would say that this would normally be a very adult question, obviously. I would just say, what are you looking for, like, in a long-term relationship would be a different way to answer this. And I can answer this very nice and simply.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But I want you to close your eyes and take a mental image of of this character and their characteristics.
Okay.
And apply them to like just a human woman.
Everybody in chat do this.
Yeah.
Everybody in chat, close your eyes. I want you to imagine the year's 1995.
Oh.
And you are like popping in a VHS of this brand new directed VHS movie from Disney about one of their iconic characters going on a road trip. And you're sitting there watching the opening number and the opening scenes at a high school. And for the first time, you see Max Goof and his love interest, Roxanne.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine that feeling that you got when you saw Roxanne for the first time and multiply it by like 10. That's how I felt.
Dippy, there's a
a
scene before this in the movie where Roxanne is shown, and it's literally the first 10 seconds.
I know. And like that first scene,
not to step on your toes,
where they're in a field, where they're like in the field, like frolicking together, and she's in this beautiful white dress, and they're just so like happy with each other. And the way that scene is just displayed, it just makes my heart flutter.
No, I feel that.
And when and I don't know what it is about Roxanne. Maybe it's the red hair. Maybe it's just like the curves in the right places. Maybe it's the chemistry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that dumbass big
I
brown
still have my
nose
eyes
that
closed. I
she
was really
has.
tired.
I don't know if it's like something to do with like the weird like hybrid human dog whatever it is thing that all the goofs in the movie are.
You like a girl that has kind of like a little puppy feel, or like a little like the young.
Pretty much.
It's the like very. I don't want to make it like about being young, but like a youthfulness about them, like a youthful exuberance, and like old and like that's a perfectly fine thing to have, because that is a very attractive thing within women, is to have that youthful joy and that exuberance that they can have. Now, a lot of people lose that because life sucks ass, but you know, being able to keep that is very attractive, and I get that. That's one of the things that was attractive about my wife, was that she was very just happy. And
can we just take like a 2-second shout out of Donald's wife's the shit. She's the funniest fucking person I've met in so long.
Donald's wife is incredible. Like,
thank you.
You can find her on Twitch at Chaos Goblin 42069.
No, it's Chaos Goblin TTV, because 42069 isn't around.
Right.
Oh no.
Right.
But yeah, yeah. If she's
and also tits the size of skyscrapers.
What? What the fuck? About my wife, or
we're moving on. You didn't get it, so we're moving on.
All right. I'm gonna give 2 answers. I'm gonna give like just the small like what is my turn on answer, and I'm gonna give kind of an answer similar to Dippy.
Sure.
So my what is my turn on answer? Bottom line is somebody who is down for anything. And don't take this dirty. I mean, like, I could just wake up one day and be like, you know, there's horseback riding a half hour away? And they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Or like, hey, you know that new movie's on Netflix? Oh, cool, let's watch it. Like, I just love someone who's like down, like, yes, like always down for new shit.
I feel that. I get that.
My kind of lovey answer, and I'm actually literally pulled it up and I'm putting it in chat. There is a song called Every Night I Dream of Dancing by Andrew Wong. And it is, it's playing. That was so loud in my ears. And the song, I mean, it's about what it sounds like. Every night I dream of dancing. The music video is incredible. The music video was shot bare bones, and then they chopped it up into frames and sent all the frames to different artists. So every like 10 frames is a completely different hand-drawn artist making the frame of the video. Gosh. It's really cool. It's a phenomenal song, and like that's my love. That is like, yeah, just every night I dream of dancing with one person. That is love to me. So that's
Okay, so remind me the question. So I can,
what turns you on?
What turns me on? It's a rough question for me to answer, but because it's more of like an attraction thing. It's more of like an attraction thing. It's
for you, I guess I would say, what do you find most romantic about your relationship with your wife?
I love it when my wife is just relaxed and content and happy to be right next to me. I love it when she decides, like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a second and go spend time with me, because that's the same thing with like anybody. Like, my kids do it, and I fucking love it, because now I'll just be sitting on the couch and my kids will just come up and just want to sit down with me.
Hey, that's enough to give you a heart boner any day.
Yeah. But I guess the thing that like attracts me most is like literally when my wife is just genuinely happy, like she's just laughing at it. Like, there's times where like it's absolute fucking chaos in our house. And I'll just like start laughing, because it's just like, this is fucking ridiculous. And then she starts laughing, and it's just, I don't know, there's just something like attractive about that, of being able to find joy in a bad situation and being there with one another. Also, I love it when she gives me shit, but yeah.
I gotta go cry in loneliness now.
One day, Dadley, you'll find somebody. Or not. I don't know.
Or not.
It's up to you. I know that's like one of your things, though, is, yeah.
And then question number 4 is a direct turnaround to that. What turns you off?
The off switch.
Switches on walls.
Yelling.
What? Yeah, I actually no. I love yelling.
When
I'm
they're
a yeller.
I hate
when
like
they're rude to the service industry.
Facts.
There are times where like my wife has been like they fucked up on shit and like gets real mad. I'm like, thank you. And then there's other times where my wife is just like, I don't want to do this, but it needs like, but I'm really upset about this, and I'll just be like, okay, then I'm just gonna be a husband right now. It's like, excuse me, ma'am. And like I have the very much of like the gentleman's approach of just like, I'm sorry, but my wife is a little too afraid to do this, but I just want you guys to know that she's not mad or any, like, and just do that whole thing. She's like, but she did order this or whatever. But there have been times where not in restaurants wise, my wife is very nice to like too nice to servers. Like that's a thing. It is more of when we get fucked over on like different things, like people sell us stuff. And she'll just be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, and she'll just get mad, and she has all the rage in the world to finish it. Like you know how they like to try and like wear you down? She just fucking like she's just like, no, fuck them.
Down right back.
Exactly.
My biggest turnoff is when like when you're pressing for a conversation and it's not happening. I'm like, how was your day? Good. Well, what did you do? Not of like, I'm totally okay if you look at me and you say, I don't feel like talking right now, or nothing really happened. There's nothing to talk about there. I hate just the snip of the conversation.
That. I hate it when people don't want to like just do the bare necessity of just like, hey, this is what like just saying like, hey, I don't feel like talking right now. Is so much easier than somebody like trying to reach out, because those like and expecting them to just read you.
Yeah, it is so refreshing getting looked at in the eyes and like hearing the words like, I don't feel like talking right now. Like, oh, okay, I'm so glad we didn't just spend 20 minutes of me trying to talk to you and being like, I wonder what's the matter.
Like trying to be Sherlock Holmes when all of a sudden you're just
like, what's wrong? It's like nothing. It's like you
a clue.
A clue, you say.
She glanced out the window. What does it mean?
What turns me off?
You said when they're mad at servers.
That, but also like that was sometimes kind of a joke answer.
Yeah.
Like
also,
everybody
when
has
they don't drink water. Drink water.
When they don't drink water. No, I'm trying to think of like genuine turnoffs for me. Honestly, people are losing like the context, the cultural context, and the capacity to just be nice. Yeah. I feel like I'm generally like a nice, kind person. And if I come across someone whose whole personality is just being angry at the world, it's like, dude, wake up and smell the flowers. Like, being angry at the world, and people are like, oh, but we are justifiably angry at the world because the world is a fucking shitty place. Well, why?
It also has dogs. Like, calm down.
Yeah. It has dogs. It has like parklands. It has like natural wonder and beauty. It has things that you
sometimes
would never be
people
able to
just
see
suck,
in your
dude.
lifetime, just right around the corner. Like, just wake up and smell the roses.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't have to. You don't have to have your face
say that, and then the
response
is, "I'm allergic to roses." And it's just like, well, fuck you then.
Dude,
your life doesn't have to be buried face down in a pile of shit, right?
To add on to that, people that scoff at people being nice, fuck you.
Oh my god, I hate
people that like yuck on your yum is the worst shit in the world.
Like I straight up,
that's a
new
one.
Like there was a guy, there was a guy at my work, like because I work around a bunch of students. There was one who's just like, hey, and I'm just like, and I just responded like, hi, how's your day going? And he's like, ha, just walked off.
Wow.
I'm just like, fuck you, dude.
All right, yeah.
Fuck you.
You also have to remember though, all college kids are kind of assholes.
Actually, freaking, I work at a Catholic like college or university. There's actually a lot of fucking good kids. Like I've had just today, I had like 5 kids just be like, hey, I like your shirt. And I was wearing a My Hero Academia shirt, and they're just like, oh, fuck yeah. Thank you.
All right.
What do we got?
These ones might be quick. Number 5, what sound or noise do you love?
Oh, I have the perfect answer.
And if you can, imitate it. If you can't, then that's fine.
Sir, the word sir, getting progressively louder.
Sir.
Sir? It is nothing but absolute hystericalness is happening when you hear sir. It's my favorite noise in the world.
That's weird because I like that too. I think it's just so funny. I love. Okay. The funniest sound in the world to me is the sound that's tied to the video of a waffle falling over, directed by Michael Bay. I can send it to you in the chat because it's literally like 8 seconds long, but I don't know why the sound of a simple thud against a countertop.
This is just 8 seconds. I'll play it for everybody else.
Seconds.
Oh, it's 6 seconds? Perfect.
You made me think of another one then, really quick as well. The sound of those old school red rubber dodgeballs smacking against somebody.
Oh God, I love that. Just boing. There's like it's got like you can't spell that sound.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna watch Waffle Falling Over by Michael Bay.
I'm gonna have you guys just listen to it.
Okay.
Right.
Oh.
All right, here we go. It's such a when something looks like it shouldn't have that much force and then it has like a force 10 times multiplicative of that.
Oh, like that freaking little squeaky toy that goes
yeah. Yeah. That's the sound I love, is the sound of explosions. I love the sound of a good explosion. And conversely, did you answer, Donna?
No, I did not. Can I just say I fucking love cat purrs. Like right in your goddamn ear. Like hearing that. It's like, oh my God, what about this is making me feel so good. That and like the sound of like a massage chair fucking like it's like the same thing. It's just like like and just knowing what it's doing. Dude,
Vibrate. Any sound that's like vibrates against you.
It's great. Yeah.
And conversely, what sound or noise do you hate?
Wait.
Oh, wait,
One last thing.
One last
thing that I love.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my love languages, like honestly, one of my love languages is cooking. Like I say it's just cooking, like to cook for somebody. The sound of somebody cooking food for you.
It's great, yeah.
It's like
that's nice.
Just knowing that it's there and the preparation. It's just like, thank you. I don't have to prep anything. And it's going to be a nice warm meal. Yes. That's okay. Now let's go to sounds that we hate.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I have broken my nose over a dozen times. So the sound of my nose cracking is like burned in my brain.
Oh God.
That.
Oh fuck.
So I went home recently and I was going through some of the old stuff. I went home to my family home recently and my mom kind of touched me on the shoulder and went, "All right, we're going into your old child playroom and we are getting rid of some stuff. We're giving it away because you don't need all of this shit anymore." And I was like, happy to do it. So we filled up a bunch. We filled up 2 boxes of things to give away to a charity in our area. But when I was looking, I found a thing. And I simultaneously love and hate this noise.
Oh, that's a great noise.
I found, and it's the worst part is this font and this name that they gave it. I'm going to show it for the stream because it's so short. You're supposed to shake it back and forth really fast.
Oh, it's peeking out the mic.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry.
You're good.
And
no. Like it's hitting that point where it stops making noise.
Oh.
No.
And
the little extra like
called it
noise to it.
And they called it the giggle stick.
Oh my god.
No. I don't like
That's a word that I hate.
Oh my god.
What noise do you hate, Donna?
What noise do I hate?
All right, I've got to throw this away because
so I
The
recently
noise of
found
throwing
out.
it is really good though.
So I recently found out through people like it's psychology TikTok, and like
Dr. McTalk?
no, and like neurodivergent TikTok, like psychology of neurodivergence, fascinates me, because it helps me to understand like basically what I'm going through and what other people will go through. I love psychology. It's one of my hyperfixations. That one of the things, like, you know how in like movies and stuff like that, you'll always see somebody that's like neurodivergent cover their ears.
Yeah.
It's because like within the brain, the body will sometimes listen to loud noises and have it be happy, but it's so close to the pain circuit within your brain, because like if you're at a concert or something like that and there's a bunch of noise and stuff, not like that, you're usually like, oh, I'm gonna put in dopamine. Within the neurodivergent mind, you cross it, and so loud noises quite literally cause pain. Like feels like stabbing in your ears. And I'm just like, oh yes, there are certain times where I feel like there's so many different noises going on that I can't, you know. So the like I guess the noise that I don't like is having multiple conversations at one time that I all have to listen to, because it's just kind of like, no, I can't do this. Like,
it's too much for me.
Yeah, it's too much, and I'm just kind of like, stop. No, I'll literally cut somebody off and just be like, I can't right now. Just give me 5 seconds. Let me do this one. Yeah. Like, I've had to get to that point in my life where I'm that kind of like dominant, and I'm just kind of like, no, like not to be rude, but I'll get back in this.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Totally understandable. Yeah.
And that's one thing about me too, is that the way I was born and raised, I never want to intentionally be rude to someone if I'm directly interacting with them. I don't want to be like, I never want to be like, I'm sorry, will you excuse me for just a minute? I have to go do this thing and I've got to leave you hanging. I'll be right back. Like, I try so hard to over explain when I need to do something outside of something.
There is a question, dude. I just thought of something. Never mind. So there is something.
I just watched Donna's train of thought happen so fast.
And everybody else did as well. So fuck, what was my brain at? What is something, okay, I know we're doing this whole list thing, but what is something that you're currently trying to correct about yourself?
Oh, I just noticed a toxic trait about me today.
Yeah?
Oh God.
I had to take my mother to a doctor's appointment, and I stopped and got Starbucks beforehand. I'm sitting here sipping my Starbucks cup. Somebody walked by with a McDonald's coffee cup in front of me, and instantly in my brain, I'm like, hey, I'm better than you. And I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, Dad, I've never been less attracted to you in my life.
Like,
right now.
Oh my God, Dadley.
It was bad.
I've always.
Oh, go.
Sorry.
Go, Dippy, go. No, I should be last.
I've always struggled with so it's like there's 3 tiny things. When I was like 16-ish, was the first time that somebody outwardly mentioned that I had an ego, that I had a really big ego. And I thought, wow, I didn't really think about that.
Massive, flaccid ego.
Yeah.
Flaccid.
That's a fun word too.
And I just like, flaccid is such a good word. And then in that moment, it took me like a week to get over this self-introspective, like, am I really that big-headed about myself? I feel like I give others time. I feel like I do these things for other people. Like, I let other people have their time. And then I analyzed it, and I'm like, I was approached multiple times by some people in my own life who said the same kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I never intentionally mean to hog anything or like try to be the center of anything, at least in my own mind. But if it's still getting outwardly, like if it's still outwardly becoming a thing, then I want to try to fix it. Another tiny thing, I suck so bad at interrupting people. I've done it so many times, even this stream.
So from an outside perspective, and I know this is me interrupting right now. All right, I'm gonna
let
try
me
to
put
talk
in these 2 cents while you're actually talking. So
no, I'm gonna try to talk a little bit in code so I don't throw anyone under the bus. But we recently have been playing a D&D campaign that had somebody that was their pet peeve, and I noticed that you did strives better in that campaign than when I first met you. So I want you to know that like you absolutely are better at interrupting people than like you may give yourself credit for.
I know who you're talking
better
about.
at interrupting them. I'm better at cutting them off, just like that.
No, you've gotten really good at not interrupting.
Better about it, right?
Yeah.
And
yes, Donald, you know who I'm talking
yes,
about.
I do. And I also noticed that person would talk forever and didn't like that and take a lot of time out of things.
We love this person.
Yes, they're great. But I'm just like, I can understand why they don't like being interrupted.
They know who they are.
Yes.
But we're not going to say it out loud.
It's not to be, I don't know. Not trying to be rude.
We're not going anymore. We're not going any more public than this.
No.
You've gotten really good at not interrupting.
Yes.
People.
Well, I appreciate that. And the last
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Wow.
How dare you interrupt my
friend? Wait.
And you didn't mute either? How dare you?
I'm sorry, it just happened. I didn't, you know how like the spasm, dude, there was a time that I actually like broke a jawbreaker in my mouth when I sneezed because the pain shuts off when you sneeze.
Oh Lord.
All right, so what's the third
That takes a lot of force. The last thing was another person, friend of the channel, but they haven't been on the channel yet. Not to my knowledge. They've been on the channel one time, but it was years ago that I can think of. I tried to run a TikTok campaign and it fell apart like immediately. Like the group vibe was not there. It was very bad. I can even acknowledge that it was not going to go much further than it had gotten on the one session that we ran of it. But later on, this person told me, like, I went over to where they worked and like tried to fix things, like tried to set things straight, tried to make things like quote unquote make things better. Part of the ego thing, maybe. But after that interaction, they called me manipulative. And that word is so hard to step away from and say,
how do I know who you're talking about?
On a very personal level, yes. On a rather personal level.
That boils my blood. That person is not, I don't want to start drama right now, is one of the most manipulative people I know.
Well, let's... Again, we're not going public with this. We're not going public with this.
Let's just say there's some tea in the Dapper D's.
Because I've told you, I can't. No,
we're not a tea.
We might be talking about different.
Yes, we did, and I did that earlier.
We might be talking about.
I just didn't want to interrupt Dippy, so
we might be talking about different people here. Let me send it in the Discord.
My current thing that I'm trying to correct is saying I'm sorry and replacing it with a way of saying thank you, because I feel like if I accidentally if I feel like I'm taking up people's time or something like that, instead of saying sorry for taking up your time or whatever, I'll say like, hey, thank you for being so patient with me.
Oh, okay.
Like, doesn't that sound better from a person? Like you feel like you're appreciated. And it's just like, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that, and I'm happy that they showed that to me, like, because some people don't mind, but it's not important to be like, oh, like thank you for not dealing with me, or thank you for not being there for me, or whatever, instead of saying sorry for my emotions, it's thank you for not being here for me, or not, they're chatting away, man.
Or gossiping like fucking school.
Sorry. Just making sure that we were talking about the same person. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, what's the next question?
The next, yeah, I think that's everyone answered. So question number 7 in the original Lipton's list. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, that's tricky.
And I have my immediate answer for this.
What's your answer?
My favorite curse word is motherfucker. Like, it is one of the best sounding. I would almost say it's one of my favorite words, but it's like, it's so rhythmic. It's so like, it flows. It's gentle, almost. Like, it's just like, Samuel L. Jackson obviously is a master of the craft of it, but like anybody can use the word motherfucker in a devastating way if they want to, or it could be so endearing with the right people, right? Like with your closest friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so adaptive in that way.
It is.
Kind of like the base word fuck itself, but you know.
Mine is, the one I probably use the word the most is oddly cuck. I love, there's something about it, for one, that just comes off the tongue real nice. But also, like, anytime I get road rage, the first thing out of my mouth is, look at this cock! Like,
oh God.
I love it. I think, like, and to call, like, to Dippy's, you were going off how you never want to, like, be mean to somebody in person. I have no problem being mean to people. It is just, so, like, I remember, I love, like, when I go to concerts and someone's being an asshole and whatnot, I love making eye contact while I call a grown man a cuck and watching his reaction of like, what the fuck?
All right.
What about you?
Well, I said one of my favorite words was fuck, but one of my favorite curse words, shithead.
Oh,
I say that to my dogs. I say that to my kids sometimes.
You shithead.
No, like just being like, hey, shithead, fucking get over here.
Along those, I like
it's slightly a form of endearment.
I like the slightly shorter, like shitter, shitter,
or a little shit.
You shitting fuckers.
Hey, Dadley, did you know that there's not one curse word that starts with an I?
There just isn't.
All right, we're inventing a new curse word right now.
Oh God, no, we're not.
Earwigget. No, that's an E.
That would begin with an E.
That begins with an E, yeah.
I mean, idiot begins with an I.
That's already not kind curse. That's just an insult.
All right, idiot fuck then. I don't know.
Curse words.
I don't know.
I literally looked up the entire list
right now. There's too many.
Me and Dippy had this conversation earlier this week, and it's just like, is there any curse words that start with an I? Because we started going like ABCs.
Because we were singing like the ABCs with curse words, and it just turned into this thing like, oh, you know.
No, there are none.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Bitch is a form of endearment, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I see. That's the thing, right?
You have a weird relationship with this word. Yeah,
I've never been a fan of the word bitch. I've never been a fan of it because, like, I never want to. I will say "son of a bitch" all the time when I'm angry about something, but I would never ever intentionally call a woman a bitch unless I hated her with my guts. Like, I swear on my life, it would, even if that woman liked the word and did not mind it being used, I still wouldn't do it because it's just like, I was just raised in such an environment that is just another rude name for a woman and you shouldn't use it.
Sexy bitch.
Sex.
See, even then, it just the deepest connotation is still
wait. Say it like this. Bitch.
That's just getting into like just weird speak at that point. All right, number 8. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? So this would obviously apply to your if you
Actors,
have a
yeah.
job, what other job would you like? If you got a degree in something, that doesn't count because that's what you eventually want to do anyway, obviously. And so I work for context's sake, I work as a server at Cracker Barrel, and I got a degree in video and film production. So other than those two things, I would love to be like a commentator, like a sports commentator, or like a narrator, or just like something involving my voice.
So voice acting.
Like voice acting, yeah. But every TikToker that I followed when the D&D TikTok growing scene was growing up was like, oh my god, voice acting is one of the hardest things to get into, like professionally, and you're not going to have too many people succeeding at it. So like it's very hard. You have to put in a lot of work for it, which you have to put in a lot of work for a lot of things. But voice acting seems like one of those things that,
dude, and then you find out about like Funimation barely paying their voice actors, Tokyo Ghoul's not coming back because the lead voice actors made $300 the entire season.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of a fucked up industry right now anyways.
Wow.
I want to do like voice acting as well. Like that would be a great thing just for the fun of it. Yeah. Like not even for the money. It like because I don't choose jobs for money. Like obviously there's a little bit of like, oh, can this kind of support me and stuff like that. But ultimately, if I find joy in it, then yeah, I would love to do voice acting just as like a thing to do and like preoccupy because I love doing voices and making fun of things.
And for context's sake, Dono has worked many a job in his past, but his current one, you're a custodian at a school.
Yes, which I'll probably stick with for a really, really long time because they're gonna pay for my kids' college. So.
Hey,
I'm like, hey, I don't have to pay for college for them. That's dope.
There you go.
But yeah, I'd love to do like voice acting as like a side job or something that like on like not exactly my everyday thing, but kind of just like be like, hey, we'd really like you like, and I'd love. And one of the things that I'd really like to do as a specialty is do monster voices.
Yeah,
I fucking love distorting my voice in that way to be like a grim monster or like.
Oh yeah, you do it
like
all
do
the
that
time
kind of a thing. Yeah, I fucking love it.
That. Yeah,
I love. My favorite one was when I figured out how to do a bear, and I did that for you guys, and you guys, and it was like it was so satisfying to see all your jaws drop and just be like, what the fuck?
I feel like this is rubbing salt in a wound, and I apologize. As like been able to get a couple voice acting jobs, it's a fucking blast. It is rough, but it's a fucking blast. Like,
or just acting in general. Acting would be fun.
Yeah, I've got to do a couple.
I've done acting.
Call them adult animes. I've done a couple of those, and then I currently got a gig doing an audiobook. So like it's neat. Like,
of the hen variety.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, like I would love to be just able to do voice acting every once in a while, or like be able to send in something. Just be like, hey, we just need you to do like send me a picture of like what I think a monster would sound like or something like that, and just be like,
no, I
okay,
get that.
yeah.
Because I want to write children's books.
I love that for you.
I don't know what it is. I've had a lot of ideas for kids' books, and I've always wanted to sit down and just write children's books.
I have a friend who became an illustrator for children's books, and she dropped out of high school because she's just like, oh, I don't have to do high school to go to college. By the way, people, you don't have to get your high school diploma to go to college.
You should still get your high school.
You should still get your high school diploma.
I know it sounds so nice dropping out, but so many jobs will not take you without at least
it's true.
GED.
But but like if you're gonna be like a tattoo or a tattooist or an artist or something like that, like
get your high school diploma.
Get your high school diploma.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like
you can get it early too, and then just stop wasting your fucking time. Like I wish I had done that.
There's too many people right now that are preaching like, oh, drop out of school. When really, like, more than anything, school is going to teach you about like social environment and like how to like navigate people's emotions and whatnot way more than you're going to learn
And you should do at
and you're not
least,
going to learn that anywhere else.
and you should do at least a year of college.
I don't know about that.
Like no, for me, like doing just a little bit of college that I did do, it taught me how much of like what kind of a person you are when you go to college. Like, go to a college that's away from your parents. Don't be fucking mooching off of them. Go and like find yourself as an adult, and it'll teach you a lot. Like how you interact with new people, how you find knowledge within the world and everything. Like, it was a huge thing for me to figure out that, oh, I do like being social around people and finding new creative outlets. Like that, I knew I was like an extremely creative person when I went to college. But yeah, take my advice with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So question number 8.
Number 9.
Number 9.
What profession would you not like to do?
Oh.
Construction. Fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, I've done that shit. I hate it.
Road construction, to be
I can answer this
specific.
honestly because I worked 3 hours at a job like this. I don't know if I've privately mentioned
You
this.
told
Or
this on.
have I mentioned
said
You
this
put it
on
on the
stream.
Dapper D's. Yeah.
I have. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't like. I worked exactly 3 hours at a UPS packaging center, at a department center, and I did 3 different things while I was there. I did what was called Amazon, where we literally just took boxes off of a conveyor belt and loaded them onto an Amazon truck. And then I did 2 different lines of incoming, where trucks were pulling up and we were putting them on the conveyor belts to be sorted. That shit sucked. I admire people who do it for a living. I admire people who do it for a living because I was literally on the verge of a heart attack on my first day.
Yeah.
And I could not go back. It was one of those times where it was like the pay is good, but it's not worth it if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
And if I had stuck with it for even like beyond 1 day, then maybe I would have been like, something could have come from it. Maybe I would have gotten in better shape. Maybe all this, maybe all that. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, it sucks.
Like, I am happy working in service like I am now, because there's still heavy lifting involved, a lot of walking, a lot of like heavy lifting and moving things and picking and doing all this other stuff and moving food and balance and coordination and all this other stuff. Lifting 50 to 100 pound boxes at a time sucks.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I did UPS for 3 months during the Christmas season.
Oh no.
Oh my God. The one funny story that I got from it though, is that in those 3 hours when we were doing incoming, I was working with a guy and he came across this box and he put it on the conveyor and he was like, shit in a box. And I was like, what? And I looked and it was one of those Cologuard things that they have on TV where they have they mail it to a kit to your house and they send it and you send it back to them and they test whether or not you have early signs of colon cancer. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean shit in a box? And he's like, they literally the people who take this literally just have to take a dump in a box and send it back for them to take their test results, right? And I was like, yeah, I never thought about that. And I realized in that moment that the next box that I had picked up was one of them. And I was just like, and I just like put it down and let it go. It was it was just a funny moment. And I don't know.
Another job that I would hate to do because I've done it and I haven't lasted an entire day doing it. Tree trimming, but being the dude that cleans it up.
Oh.
It is
See, I did that
exhausting. But also, Dippy, hint for you of like weight loss within jobs. It doesn't happen until you have the mindset to lose weight.
That's true.
I've had so many jobs where I worked like fucking crazy, but I still kept my dietary habits. Right. And I never lost weight until I decided to change that and fix that. And then I would like just shred weight.
At the end of the day, weight loss is literally just calorie input being lower than calorie output. And nowadays that's kind of where I've been at. Like I dropped from 330 to 315 over these past couple of months, but that's only because I literally haven't been eating as much.
It feels better to like be that light, like to drop.
Oh, it does.
Like I've had it where I literally dropped 50 pounds in like 2.5 months.
That's
And
a lot, buddy.
it is.
Wow.
But I used to do wrestling and shit like that. So yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes. But like it's fucking amazing how your muscles feel when you drop that much weight.
Oh, Dadley had a light bulb moment.
Oh, I just realized another profession I would love to do is being a pro wrestler.
Oh my god.
That shit looks so much fun.
I could never. Like the day that I set foot into a wrestling ring and call the day that I step into a wrestling ring and call myself Earthquake Jake is the day that I die.
But that's a good wrestling name. Donna, what's your wrestling name?
Donosaurus Rex? I don't know.
Donosaurus Rex.
You wear one of those inflatable dinosaur.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking
just like grab the
I like
front,
climb up onto a roof.
Yeah, you grab the front, you rip it apart, and then you reveal like body paint in the style of like scales and stripes.
And I just like wear a little Speedo that has a dinosaur head at the very top of it.
God. And I would just well, there was a wrestler in the WWE called Earthquake Jake is the problem. So I couldn't take that. But like you could do be
Jake the Quake.
Jake the Quake. Or like, you know,
I want
to model myself after a natural disaster. Like whether that
Jake
be
the Bake. Fucking
the monsoon. I like the monsoon. And
I've literally said this since I was 10 years old. I want my finishing move to be called the solar flare.
Interesting.
They open up the dome just so you can fucking slam somebody.
They open up the dome and then like a single ray of light comes down.
It's like, Bradley, we're sorry to tell you this, but it's raining outside. Fucking open it. I'll make it shine.
Open it.
Did you answer the profession you wouldn't like to do, Dadley?
Not yet. Probably like, you know, probably the number one profession I don't want to do is collecting the golf balls at a golf range.
That seems like it would be such a simple thing to do, though.
It just sounds so
I have seen
and boring and fuck that.
Wait, Dadley, what if I told you that you're in a golf cart that's in a cage like situation and you have a machine behind you that picks up all the golf balls?
Yeah,
I don't want to do
and
it.
you're just driving around and people are trying to nail you
people are trying
with
to
golf
hit the
balls.
Cart.
Yeah, that's
and you're bringing them joy.
Something I would love to do just on a weekend. That sounds like something I would love to like. I wouldn't even take money for it. I would volunteer to.
Is there a scene in Billy Madison or no? Happy Gilmore, where he's in charge of it, and all he's doing is just insulting people as he's picking them up.
Yeah, fuck you. You can't hit me.
Yeah,
I love that.
I would love to be that guy.
And finally, question number 10, and this will get a little existential here. Question number 10. Assuming heaven exists, or whatever form of heaven you desire, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I didn't notice. How much cocaine did you do?
Honestly, I'm sure there's other people that have done a lot more cocaine than you and are currently doing more than you.
I don't know.
Mine would 100% be, it isn't that hard.
Yeah,
like
that would honestly be so reassuring.
Yeah, like fucking. If I'm being honest, recently one of the things that come to my mind about because in this last year I've contemplated death a lot and shit, just personal things happening in my life and like in my friend's life.
Same.
Tragedy. Yeah.
Like, it can't be that hard if you're a good, if you're just a half decent person to get into heaven.
If you're trying to be a good person.
Like, it can't be as hard as some religions can make it sound.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Like, it can't be.
It's not that hard.
Like, with the way that God is described, he would never fucking just, or they would never just push somebody away because, you looked at porn once or something like that, or you swore at somebody. It's like, no.
Some fundamentalists look at it like, once and it's over, and then there are people who understand there's this to speak as a Catholic for just a moment,
Mhm.
there's one of our sacraments. There are in a lot of Christian denominations, there are only 2.
Mhm.
In Catholicism, there are 7, and one of the recurring ones, one of the ones that you do every time you attend or that you can do of your own volition, is penance and reconciliation, which is going to confession, confessing your sins, and you get your penance for it. Sometimes it's like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, pray these prayers, or oh, just sit in the church and think about this for like this amount of time. But that's all just a formality of if you confess, there are such things as deathbed confessions or deathbed conversions, where if you are of a certain faith, you can have your spiritual leader come to your side, and if you truly, honestly, wholeheartedly confess like sins in a moment of grievance or of like mortal danger, and the priest deems it so, like you get your reconciliation, and if you die, then if you, as long as you're not doing like sketchy sinning shit while you're in your deathbed, which you wouldn't be if you had that moment of clarity, but you get to go like to the place.
If you were dying and you had a chance to just like spill it all, would you tell like the people that you've always wanted to say fuck off to fuck off? No?
If I knew I was gonna die in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling my ex and I'm telling him where I buried treasure that I never buried.
That's kind of
cool, kind of brilliant.
Also, can I just take a quick minute to rattle off some joke answers before I answer?
Okay.
Sure, joke answers, yeah.
Come on inside. You can watch Treasure Planet 2.
Yeah! Woo! All right!
Or, that's weird. You're the only one in your family up here?
Oh, God. Oh, that would devastate me.
Or, no. You're not supposed to be up here. Dogs don't go to heaven yet.
What the fuck?
The Pope, like the last Pope, was the first time it was deemed that dogs go to heaven.
Yeah.
And I'm making a joke that I am a dog.
Yeah, I have my own problems with the current Pope of the Catholic Church, but we're not going to get into that.
I know nothing about the current Pope.
Then you consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. So what I would honestly want to hear is like, do you want to go again? Like I did, because like I don't know. Like I like the idea of reincarnation more than anything to me. So
that's kind of
If
like
I had,
an interesting philosophy in and of itself.
If I had to go through the same psychological stuff as I did when I was a kid and develop to basically be like the same person, which I know won't happen in like a psychological standpoint, if you were to do it again, like you would be different than who,
absolutely,
like you would have like something that's weird that I don't know if it's like described within psychology or if it's like done within it, is the fact of like you could never know your parent and you would end up so much like them in your personality.
Yeah.
And that happened like because for me when I was growing up, I had an absent parent. My dad, he was still like, my mom and dad were still married, but my dad was constantly working. And I didn't know how much I was like my dad until he retired, came back home, and I started to get to know him.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit, we're like the same person. And I've never like really gotten to know you. Like, which has impacted me in like how to be a father, because I want my son to know who I am and get to know me and realize that this is the type of person that you can be and to be proud of it.
That is like a thing in itself of I have a bookshelf put aside of books, movies, and CDs that like I think have like formed me into the person I am for my kids, of like a little morbid, but like in case I die before you guys grow up, these are like the things that I cherished, like so they can know more about me even if I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, reincarnation. That's what I'd want to hear.
Oh gosh, I can't find it now, but there's this. I'm going to give you the shortest version of my answer and then I'll try to explain it. in no uncertain terms, there are two things that I would prefer to hear when I get to heaven. Welcome home, and the alternative, and this is wildly experimental of me, I don't know if it would be blasphemous or whatever to say this. You have a week. You might want to get started. So there's this story that I heard one time, and it was a very fun story about the concept of heaven being loosely based around the positive versions of the 7 deadly sins. Where if you go to hell, then you go through the torment of the 7 deadly sins. And there are these things called the 7 gracious virtues in Catholicism that you can that can combat the 7 deadly sins, obviously. But the story that I read turned the 7 deadly sins into their most luscious, decadent, good versions of themselves, which would obviously still be sinful in most contexts, but regardless.
Yeah.
And this man goes up to the gates of heaven, and Peter starts showing him around the 7 neighborhoods that reflect these lifestyles. They go to gluttony, and there are people eating exorbitant amounts of food, the finest foods from Paris and Italy and all these other places, as much as they want, and they end up being exactly the weight that they want to be. They could be like giant slobs, or they could be like the most fit people on the planet. They go to lust, and it's just a world, a like loving and like paradise of just everybody is having families, that kind of thing all the time. And they go through all these neighborhoods, and then they end up at the last neighborhood, which is based on pride. And Peter looks to the man and says that not many people choose pride. Are you sure you don't want to go back to one of the other neighborhoods where your life would be simpler, like greed, where you get your own mansion, or what are the other 7 deadly sins? Gluttony, pride, wrath, where you finally get your peaceable comeuppance with everyone who's ever wronged you in your life. Like, are you sure you don't want to get back to one of those neighborhoods? And he says, nope, I want to see what all the fuss is about with this.
There's also
place.
envy and sloth. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, so I think sloth was just like everybody was lying down on a bunch of clouds. Like,
oh, that's nice.
Like everybody just lying down motionless on a bunch of clouds and relaxing. Because sloth, in terms of the 7 deadly sins, sloth just seems like, hey, lay around all day. Like, obviously, if you did that, you wouldn't get money. You would probably die. Like,
I've met some people that are the embodiment of sloth. And
everyone has met the embodiment of one of the sins in one of their lifetimes. Like, sure.
Hi, I'm lost.
But regardless, the man turns to Peter and says, I want to see what all the fuss is about pride. And Peter says, okay. So he opens the door, and it looks like a carpenter shop. And there are tables and workbenches and like clay throwing wheels, and it just looks like an arts and crafts shop. And there aren't that many taken spots. There's he can only see like 1 or 2. Peter brings him to an open table, and he places down a toolkit. He unravels it, and before him, laid bare, is the entirety of the observable universe within its boundaries. Endless, limitless possibilities in a totally empty black hole. And all of the tools that he would need in order to build his own universe. And Peter looks at him and says, we give you a week head start. You better get started. In the idea of turning the story of creation into everybody who ends up in heaven, who chooses the path of like pride in their work, gets to create their own universe.
That's neat.
And that's a God complex, and it's a very it's among the highest of real sins in the Catholic Church. But it's always something fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that your reward at the end of your life, if you lived a virtuous life, if you lived a life good enough to get into heaven, that you get to indulge yourself by creating a universe of your own. Like that, to me, sounds unbelievable.
That sounds very much like some things within the LDS religion.
Does it?
Yes, because the LDS religion, there's the belief that we will all become gods and then become gods of our own universes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it is the ultimate. Is the ultimate point of ascension. If you do everything that you're supposed to do, go to church, pay your tithing, get married in the temple, get sealed, have kids, and seal your family to yourself, and then die a sinless person, the highest, like, well, I guess even getting baptized, you get the chance of doing it because now you can be, there's being sealed in like being sealed after death, so doing work for the dead. There's that whole thing, but like, it's crazy that you said put you in front of a thing and you just see the universe in creating one. I'm just like, oh, okay, like that was like, that's a whole thing. And with that, when I was given that information, I'm just like, oh, okay, so God, the idea of God, he used to be just a man who's going through the same thing that we are and chose to do all the right thing.
If you follow Catholicism closely enough, you'll find that in the story of Jesus, but that's not something I'm going to get into.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of shit that you can get into like religion, and it's fascinating and whatnot, but it's also kind of like,
But that's the end of the questionnaire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was fun. I liked that. I liked answering those questions. That was actually a very good time.
It was.
Yeah.
So looking at our little topic thing here, I believe
I think it's time, because we're 2 hours in. We should wrap up.
Yeah.
Should be wrapping up.
Good.
Well, then let's do these last two. How about we have time for a fake draft. A fake draft wouldn't take too long.
Would you be down for a fake draft, Deadly?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Let's do a fake draft. Let's do a fake draft. This could become a recurring segment too. So let's give it a good first shot here.
Okay. I need a pen and paper.
Obviously, if you've been on TikTok and you watch us, you may or may not have seen on your For You pages people who are doing fake drafts. They have 5 draft spots and they pick a topic, and it goes in a round robin order, where you go through and you select your draft picks for that topic to be the best representatives of that thing. So
yes.
I'm gonna get just a post-it note to keep track of mine and everyone else's.
Yeah, I was just pulling up the same.
Yeah. And if this goes well enough, we could turn it into a recurring segment for the podcast episode.
This would also probably be good to clip and put it on shorts.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
If I pull up OBS, I might be able to record it myself. But that might take too long. I don't want this to take forever.
Yeah.
So
what are we drafting?
I believe if we wanted to tie it, well, no, because you guys don't have the knowledge of it. Yeah, never mind. This is almost like a miniature.
I thought we said Pokemon.
List.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot about Pokemon.
So let's do Pokemon.
Donna wanted to do Pokemon Gen 3, like Gen 1 to Gen 3.
Yeah. Because that's what I know best for.
Okay. Fair enough.
The fuck is on
do we want to say right off the back, no legendaries?
Yeah. No legendaries.
Yeah. I feel like that would almost be cheating. Pseudo legendaries, legendaries, like
damn.
Some of mine I have to look up while I'm writing this, but do we want to make our list first?
No Metang line.
I literally was gonna say Metagross. God damn. Metagross is
motherfucker. You motherfucker. All right. So,
all right.
I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
I opened Inkscape instead of OBS. What am I doing? Okay.
I opened Google Docs.
Incredible.
I did it.
The way that it would actually record for me, it would be a a 21:9 video, which I do not hate the idea of.
What is okay?
21:9 would be what ultra widescreen video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just fucking.
So
I
we're
feel
gonna
like we
make
should
our
roll
list
to see
first.
Who goes first? No, that's not how it
Okay.
works.
Okay. Cool. Never mind.
We go in a round robin because
We
if
have
somebody
to
go in a
picks
round
something
robin.
that you want, you're screwed.
Okay.
Right.
I think we
So
should
let's
roll
roll.
to see who goes
Yeah.
first.
Let's roll initiative.
Window capture. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Mhm.
Initiative order.
I rolled a 4.
I got
Oh,
a
God.
6.
You didn't see that.
What?
What?
No,
What? What happened?
I heard you.
No. Chat
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
saw it.
What?
What did you do?
Huh?
I was looking away. I literally.
Yeah,
couldn't
that
see.
was the point. I was waiting till
Oh.
nobody was paying attention.
Okay.
Okay. I've got my first pick that I know what I want.
Okay, well, Dippy might roll higher than us, unfortunately.
Okay, wait. Shit. I'm just trying to set up OBS to record this. Why is this so hard? Okay.
Okay.
Why is this so hard?
Okay.
There we go. Eep. Meeple.
We can also just
Okay.
pull it from it later.
Yeah, we can just
Okay,
pull
am
from
I-
it later. Just do that. Okay.
Where's
So,
my fucking
roll your dice. Roll a d20.
Ah! Okay, where's my D20? There it is.
I don't know. Just roll
Ah.
a d12.
Huh. Do I have an initiative modifier?
No.
No.
13.
13.
Ah,
Okay,
you
you're
still
first.
beat us.
Okay, who's
Alright,
good?
it's
So
Dippy,
what order are
Donna,
we going in?
Natalie. Dippy,
Oh,
Donna,
I'm going
Natalie.
first?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Okay.
It was a 13, a 6, and a 4.
Nice. Okay. Dippy, Donna, Dudley. In the order. Me.
Okay.
Donna,
Okay.
Dudley. All right, let me just. I can record this. I think I set it up right. Yep. Testing.
Now,
Talk, you guys.
this is just our top Pokemon that we
This is
choose
just
to just get.
Pokemon Gen 1 to Gen 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, welcome to Fake Draft. Gen 1 to Gen 3 Pokemon with the boys.
Mhm.
With the
We've
boys.
already determined an order. Let's do this. So wow. Pokemon Gen 1 to Gen 3 all together. Nope, draft pick number 1. I'm going Marshtomp.
Ooh.
Ooh, good one.
That's a good one right off
That
the
is a
bat.
good one.
Yeah.
That was one of my picks.
I mean, you
Not gonna lie, that was one of my
love-
picks.
You gotta love the Marshtomp is the final evolution of Mudkip.
Yes,
Yes.
it is. Yep.
Okay, just
Okay.
making sure that wasn't.
No, it's Swampert.
Oh, Swampert.
Swampert's
Yeah,
the
sorry.
final.
Swampert's the final.
Dadley, you
Oh,
have
yeah.
never sounded more insulted in your fucking life.
I will get if you want Swampert, I'll give you Swampert. Like
Yeah.
Damn it.
you wanted the final
No,
evolution.
you know what? The aesthetic of Marshtomp is almost
But
better than
Swampert
Swampert
gives
anyway.
gets
Hold on.
Earthquake.
Hold on.
Swamp,
I have to
Does
look
it?
up.
He can learn Earthquake.
it can't learn Earthquake. It also learns Muddy Water, which is
Yeah.
its signature.
No,
move
that's
for back then.
Marshtomp.
I meant
Marshtomp.
Swampert.
Well, like
Yeah.
he can learn Muddy Water, but he
Yeah.
learns Muddy Water through Marshtomp.
Right. I'm gonna stick with Marshtomp. I
Okay.
like the,
Okay.
I like him.
It's a dope.
All
It's a
right.
dope pick. Vigoroth.
Oh wow.
Vigoroth.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Fucking massive speed, heavy hitter. Doesn't have the lazy bit. You put an Everstone on him,
Yeah.
and he just cleans gyms.
Yeah, not
Okay.
slacking.
Yeah.
Vigoroth.
Not the final Evo.
Yeah.
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 I
I've,
like
I've
that.
always been a fan
Yeah.
of Vigoroth more than Slacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm
don't
going.
mind
I'm
that at
going
all.
weird right off the back, but it's
Okay.
the one that like I want the most right off the bat.
Sure.
Shed Ninja.
Ooh, I like it. I feel like I'm dead, huh?
Yeah. Respectable.
That's a
Yeah.
psychic bug, right?
Now here's a question. If we
no,
pick
it's ghost bug. Yeah.
Now here's a question. If
Hmm.
we pick a Pokemon,
Okay. So
does the rest of their evolutionary line disappear?
I would say yes, but that's just
Okay.
me personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So the rest of the evolutionary line disappears, which means I can't pick the fucking Ninkata. Oh, Ninkata would have actually been one of my picks. This is turning into Gen 3 very fast.
Actually, the way that's supposed to go is that it goes Dadley does his choice, and then he does his second, and then it comes back to me, and then you.
And then it comes.
Oh,
it goes.
Yeah, because it's a bounce back and forth. So.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the draft. That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
No,
Oh.
yeah, that's how it works.
Oh,
Isn't
cool.
it round 2? The orders are.
So what's your second pick there, Dadley?
Steelix.
All right. It's dope. That's a dope one. My next one is just because it's a favorite. Donphan.
Oh, okay.
You
fair.
son of a bitch.
That's totally fair.
You guys actually took 2 evolutionary lines I was going to take.
Sorry,
Oh
bud.
my god. Okay. Golly. And we already agreed no legendaries, no pseudos. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, Gardevoir, easy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good pick. That is a
pick.
damn good pick. And now you get to do your third pick.
Third pick, draft pick number 3. Oh god. Oh. This is turning into Gen 3. Should we just stick to Gen 3?
No,
I'm Steelix is Gen 2.
Oh, Steelix is Gen 2? Oh,
yeah.
Never mind then. Since nobody's touched him yet, I'm gonna say fucking Charizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
That was gonna be my next pick if nobody got it. I was surprised it hasn't been grabbed by now.
Okay. I'm thinking like Route 1 early in the game, but also I'm thinking like a really good one that's just got its good abilities. Quagsire.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. I do have another one. I know what my next one is going to be.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I feel lucky that my next one hasn't been grabbed yet. Snorlax.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I had a feeling that someone was going to grab Snorlax, but I thought, you know what? I got Vigoroth to kind of. Yeah. So I'm good with that.
And
Not bad.
And number 4, Umbreon.
Oh, damn it. Does that get rid of all evolutions?
I think evolution should still be on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't feel fair. There's so many of them.
Yeah. I'm
okay. Fuck. I gotta decide whether or not I want to put this at my 4th.
That puts pressure on you, Dono. You might want to snag an evolution before I
don't need an evolution.
Well, fuck. Then I guess I'm getting my evolution then.
Fuck, man. I kind of want to throw in a first gen, but I have a water type, I have a normal, and I have a Donphan is steel type, right? No.
Donphan's ground.
He's ground. Got it. Okay.
Ooh.
So I've got normal, ground, water. Let's think fire. Maybe. We're gonna go Arcanine.
Ooh, good pick.
My boy.
All right. Pick number 4. And because I have 2 picks in a row, I'm very safe about these 2.
Yep.
Pick number 4 is Leafeon.
Fair.
That's a good one.
Gotta have that defense. Love that defense.
Mm-hmm.
And pick number 5 is Aggron.
Aggron.
The Aeron, Lyron, Aggron line.
Oh,
I thought that was
bitch! I
Gen 4.
totally forgot about that.
Oh, I would have grabbed that. Oh shit.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's good.
Oh my god.
Right.
I gotta
Pick
think
number 5, Dono. Make it count.
You get pick number 5. Oh
No,
wait, you got your
already
Aggron.
This is your 5th pick.
Okay. Oh, I gotta think here. I gotta fucking search my mind palace of Pokemon. Gengar.
Gengar.
That was my fucking number 5.
That's like I'm gonna get Dadly mad with this one, but Gengar.
Marvelous.
All
So
right.
Dadly, last overall, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, but not Mr. Irrelevant. Still a good mon that nobody grabbed. Aerodactyl.
Oh, that's a good one.
Aerodactyl got that hone claws and stone edge. Fucking good mon.
Aerodactyl wasn't a pseudo?
No, not at all.
Do we want to make?
Pseudo in Gen 1
Do we just
is,
want to make it a full
Dragonite.
Pokemon team and make it 6?
Yeah.
Do we
get
have
one more pick?
Do we have a? Oh yeah. Okay, fine, cool. All right, then I can add
we
my.
all get one more pick.
I can
and
add my
get
last
the
one then.
very last pick.
Let's
Yeah.
go Dono, me, because I just went last, and then Dippy.
Okay.
Dono can go first. this
Okay,
round.
sure.
He has a
I'm gonna
nothing,
add a
yeah.
psychic type, but it's a dual
okay.
type. Noctile.
Not
I just like Noctile.
I don't think Noctile's a psychic type.
Yeah, he is. You can do hypnosis and shit like that.
I know it can't. I
Oh
think
wait,
it's
is he a
and power.
normal not flying?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
You
pretty
can
sure he's a
do
normal
psychic
flying.
type moves. Fuck, man, I
Yeah.
fucked up. Can I change my
Oops.
shit?
Nope, you already secured
Yeah, it's
him,
just
man.
normal and flying.
Fuck!
You already secured him, man. Sorry.
Y'all suck my nuts. But yeah, it just means I don't have.
No, I really think my list is missing a psychic type.
Yeah,
Shedinja?
I have a
No,
normal
sorry.
flying that can do psychic.
You do, yeah. There's actually not a whole lot of good
Oh
psychic types.
fuck,
early,
man! I just thought of a better one.
You know what? I'm just gonna go. Ooh, Altaria. Get that dragon type in there.
Golly.
Altaria.
It was a toss up between that one and this one for my last pick, but
Fuck,
last overall
man.
pick. This is Mr. Irrelevant in terms of the actual picking terms, obviously. I gotta go Mawile.
Oh, good pick actually. Yeah.
So
Get that Steel Fairy. It's the best, the most
absolutely,
defensive typing in the game.
Yes.
Can
And
I?
there
Okay,
you
can I
have it.
say what I would have put if I fucking been smart?
What?
Sure.
Flygon.
Ah, that would have been
Oh,
a great
yeah.
pick.
Yeah,
I want to punt these.
I have too
teams
many,
with the
like-
fucking
And
Pokemon
there you
Showdown
have it.
now.
I have too many
There you
ground
have it.
types, but it's dragon ground, so it's dope.
I have my
I didn't
fucking
write any of these
total of my
down.
list. Well, I did. So, our teams. Oh gosh!
Can you
excuse me.
change mine,
Badly-
please, to not freaking Flygon for my last one?
Nope.
Dippy, please
You
let it
gotta
be
tri-
fun
you-
for me.
You gotta pull off a player trade, man, and nobody picked Flygon. You gotta get Flygon from the transfer portal. So Dadley ended up with the glorious team of Shedinja, Steelix, Snorlax, Umbreon, Aerodactyl, and Altaria.
That's a pretty fucking stacked team.
It is a pretty stacked team, not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Dono has the marvelously eclectic team of Vigoroth, Donphan, Quagsire, Arcanine, Gengar, and Noctile.
Listen,
And-
Noctile isn't bad. It's just
Noctile's a good
I was
mod.
just
only-
really hoping that it was
only
flying
put- I only-
psychic, but
I only
I
put
totally
some
forgot
sauce.
that
I
it
only
was
put
normal.
some sauce on that just because
You know what,
that
Dippy?
wasn't
Fuck
what
you.
meant to pick.
Wait, were you thinking Natu? Because Natu's a flying psychic type.
Zatu would have been a
Yeah,
great.
Natu
It
and
might have been.
Zatu. Yeah.
I think I probably actually meant to say. Wait, is it the one that looks like a little, not like
Totem Eagle.
What is that?
yeah.
Totem Eagle. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. He was
Totem
thinking of
Eagle.
Zatu. He was thinking of Zatu.
That's not funny.
Oh,
Do I still get
love-
knocked out? Fuck this
You
bitch.
get knocked out.
I mean, it's a flying psychic, so it doesn't get the
And I
not like
got
weaknesses
what
of
feels
flying.
like the very. I got the what feels like very basic and iconic list of
Or
Marsh Stomp,
weaknesses
Gardevoir,
of-
Charizard, Leafeon, Aggron, Mawile.
It's a tanky list.
Yeah.
That's a good tanky list.
What can I say? I like being the tank.
Mine's technically got like a good variety because it's got tanks. It's got
Yours has really good type coverage, Dono.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like that would probably be like in Gen 3, if I could get all those, I'd probably go to the Elite Four with it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching the first episode of what did we just call this? Fake
Dapper
draft.
Draft King.
Dapper Draft. The Dapper Drafts.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the episode title. All right. Well, thank you for watching the first episode of the Dapper Drafts. We'll see you on the next podcast episode.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye. And I'm done recording. Okay. Dream.
We didn't say
I made a
goodbye!
mistake. I made a mistake. I didn't stop the recording though, thank God.
Okay. A
We're
good
still
fake
here.
out.
That was a
You got
fake. That was a
out.
fake.
It was a good fake out. So,
It was a joke.
ladies and gentlemen, We are approaching the end of our stream for. We're approaching the end of our 7th podcast episode, guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've been doing Dapper D's for 7 months now.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
It's weird where we started and now we're like this part.
Yeah.
I know. It's like it's such a wonderful thing that we've.
Do you guys ever think that you'd like as a kid you'd ever be doing something like this?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that maybe I would do something
actually,
like this. Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, I'm glad that it's been working out the way it has so far. Here's to 7 more months.
I'm glad I found people to do it with.
Yeah.
I know. That's the
like
thing.
a solid group is like awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So, boys, life advice. Boys.
Lads. Laddies.
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen, what is your advice for tonight?
Well, my advice is actually tied to one topic that we didn't get to touch on. I am going back to Talladega next week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, my life advice is if you see me there, please say hi, please. No. In reality, it's good to talk. It's good to ask questions and to answer them with your friends because you learn more about the people that you love when you ask them stupid questions. And it just makes you love them even more.
Yes.
Mine is, even if you're the most manliest of men, create something. Be creative. Allow your imagination to run free.
Absolutely.
It'll add a few years to your life.
Y'all need to visit South Georgia because I will come say hi. Well, we would love to go to South Georgia.
I would love to do this live one day.
But we don't have money.
Ace could go to South Georgia, but yeah.
Hey, there you go.
My life advice is as we are getting to the fall season, and like leaves start to fall, and you might go pumpkin picking and whatnot. There's still going to be mosquitoes out. So a good way to combat those is a mixture of milk left on the counter and vinegar. Put that in like a cup together, put it on the skin, and that way people and mosquitoes aren't going to want to go near you.
Oh God, he's not serious.
So,
and then it was like, oh yeah, you're not serious.
I don't know. Okay, so I know this is like definitely not Dapper D's thing, but just a little fact to leave everybody on. There is a reason that every single scent and every single flavor is set to a certain time of year, is because pumpkin spice helps with the libido and gets you horny. Mint is for helping with like sickness. It helps to invigorate the your fucking.
I drink so much pumpkin spice.
It helps you.
So
it helps your
God,
immune system,
reason.
like peppermint and mint. And then like summertime, the like pineapples and stuff like that, like the fruitiness and stuff. It adds energy because fruit has sugar within it, and so you need the extra energy because of the beating heat. Also, it's hydration.
And in springtime, you eat apples. And in springtime, you eat apples because they just look nice.
And fall too, but yeah.
all right. Last minute thing before we go. I recently. We don't need to get into it. Everything is fine. My mother was in the hospital, and there was an apple sitting on her nightstand, and I walked in, and I was just like, "You can't have that." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "That's why nobody's coming to check on you." She's like, "What?" And my mom is yelling at me now. "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "The apple is keeping the doctors away from."
All right. Well, it's been lovely having you. Your adventure matters. Till next time. Roll your initiative. Bye-bye.
And stay dapper. Bye-bye.
Yay.